the WWE's World Heavyweight Champ, Triple H! You know, I'm sorry, I almost screwed up the intro there. Hello. Hello, how are you? I'm Wine.
I'm a force to be reckoned with.
No, Triple H is gonna give me crap. Hey, man, thank you so much for coming to the show.
No problem, you wascally wabbit.
Wow. So you are like the wrestler, man. I love watching you.
Thanks.
But all I can think when I'm seeing you jump off stuff, hit folks, beat, flip, your parents must have just, when you said, I want to be a wrestler, what did they possibly look at you and say?
It's kind of a weird thing. You go into your parents and tell them, I'm going to be a pro wrestler. Like telling them, I'm going to be a trapeze artist or something like that. You know, it's not something you hear every day, so they're a little bit taken aback by it. I don't think my mom was too thrilled about it. She saw the injury factor there, and she saw me going training for it and coming home every day beat up and, you know, bruised up and banged up, and she really questioned me all the time, you really want to do this, you know? And she's still like that now. I mean, I have matches now, and a few years ago I had a particularly brutal match in Madison Square Garden. I had bled a lot, and I got a hole punctured in my leg, and it was really, really bad. And after the match, I'm in the back, you know, trying to be a tough guy with all the wrestlers are back there, and we're all bragging about how good we did, putting each other over like big tough guys. And I look, and there's my mom falling in the doorway, just, she ran over and was all, I'm like, Ma, you know.
Does she call you Triple H?
No, but she calls me Paul. And if she throws my middle name in there, I'm in trouble.
So now well, dude, you have to say what your middle name is now. You have to say what the middle name is now.
Michael. So it's not that big of a deal.
But Paul Michael, but it's a tone that mom can get, that no matter how big you are, if mom says it, it just cuts you down to 5 years old again.
And the cool thing about my parents, they're really huge fans of what I do, so they, like, no matter what I'm on, if I'm on TV, I know that when it's done, I'm going to have a message on my phone saying, you know, saw you on the show, and she always says the same thing. I didn't teach you to be mean like that. That's always the one thing she says.
You've got a young nephew that you're particularly fond of.
Yeah.
How does he handle having you as an uncle? I mean, you are Triple H. Kids love wrestling.
Yeah, he's 12. Actually, it was just his birthday, so happy birthday, Pete. And I've got a niece that's 3, Mesa, and she kind of just likes everybody else but me. Different person every week, but it's always other than me. And my nephew Pete, though, he's really cool about it. He really is a big fan of it, but he's a really smart kid. When he was about 7 or 8 years old one time, he had a friend that was going to come over, and he didn't invite him over because I was coming over. And I thought it was kind of weird, and I asked him why. And he said that he doesn't know I'm a wrestler, and he didn't tell him because he wanted his friend to like him for him, not because his uncle was a wrestler. And I thought that was pretty smart.
That's an after-school special, man.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. So I was impressed. I thought it was pretty cool for a kid that age to think that much about it, you know.
What's your most embarrassing moment being in the ring? and now I ask that because as a performer, but more importantly as a fan, I'm watching you guys go around, and you guys look like you just want to kill each other. So it's just weird to think that every now and then that there might be a wrestling blooper.
Yeah, well, it's my embarrassing moment happened to me, and it's actually something that I caused to happen to somebody else a few years ago. I was wrestling a guy named Al Snow on television.
Yeah.
And as I gave Al a suplex, when I picked him up, my hand hooked his trunks, and I completely exposed
his little wrestler?
Yeah.
Yeah. And now the little champ.
Yeah. And it was pretty funny. And then this year, not that long ago, in August at SummerSlam, I wrestled Shawn Michaels, who had just come back after like a 4-year absence, and it was this huge match, all this build-up, and we'd been going for wrestling probably at this point for about 30 minutes, and I had been cut and was bloody, and it's very, you know, pivotal point in the match, and he went to slide down my back for a move, and when he did, we were both slippery, and he slipped, and he grabbed my trunks, and I flipped over and was completely upside down. And when I looked up, I was just staring myself in the face. And single H.
Hey, folks, we'll be right back with both H's in just a minute. Everybody, we're back with Triple H. Can you tell us the rest of that story? When we last left you,
I was exposed to the world. Honestly, it was just one of those things, you know, that luckily for me, as I was exposed, the camera happened to be in a side shot, so it didn't appear on live television. But believe me, it was, at the time, you don't have time to think about it. You just keep going in the match. And when I got back, it was like the first thing I asked when I came through the curtain, was I exposed on TV? Because that's a big fear. Well, kill off my entire image. You don't have to say that, little. No. Oh, I mean a lot. I'd kill it off a lot.
Hey, I don't want to know. Do you, Emmy? When you're back home, where are you from?
From New Hampshire, originally.
Small town, big town?
Small town, and it's actually a small enough town to where I'm like the only person that's any type of a celebrity, if you can say that.
So when you go home, you raise a ruckus. Like, hey, y'all, Triple H is in town. Woohoo!
It actually, the local radio station calls it Triple H sightings. They get people call in, I was just at the grocery store, and he was at the grocery store. And
so you can't do your own grocery shopping, or do you do your own?
I do it sometimes. It's hard to do if it's busy because you just get mobbed. But if it's, sometimes you have to do it. I mean, that's just what you do. You go to the grocery store and you buy stuff. But, it can be, let's face it, you all got to buy stuff that sometimes is not the best stuff to buy when somebody else that you don't know is going to come up to you and talk to you. Like, God forbid you get a hemorrhoid or something like that. You got to pick up some Preparation H or something. Somebody's going to come right over to you as you're getting it. And hey,
hi, Triple H. Hemorrhoid on aisle 4.
Yeah. So it's always the worst possible timing.
Tell everyone about you're doing a Mr. Olympia pay-per-view.
Well, I am not competing in the Mr. Olympia.
No, you're the commentator.
Yeah, Mr. Olympia is the Super Bowl of bodybuilding, and I've been involved in bodybuilding since I was 14. I'm a huge fan of it, and love training with weights. And it's actually a big thrill for me that the Mr. Olympia people have asked me to come out this year and to guest commentate. It's the first time this has been broadcast on pay-per-view. So the Mr. Olympia will be this Saturday live on pay-per-view, and you can tune in and hear me talking.
Well, before you leave, I want to let everyone know that you can either catch him there or the WWE's No Mercy, where he is going to defend his title against Kane.
Yes.
That is going to be a good match, man.
Yeah.
That's going to be a good match. Before I let you go, part of the secret that your mystique is you're just tough.
Intense.
So you're intense and you do that stare, and a lot of good wrestlers have the stare, and then you guys talk a lot of trash. I want you to teach me the stare and see if I can stare and talk trash with you.
All right.
Can I do that with you?
Yeah.
Then we got to do it face to face, like we're in the ring, like we're two guys in the ring. Let's go. Hold on.
All right. Let me get in character.
We'll be on Triple H, WWE's No Mercy. Watch it this Sunday night on pay-per-view. We'll be right back. That's okay, man.